Oh, well, I take my hat off to Chavez Sr. He's a legend in the sport of boxing. He's one of the guys that opened up the door for myself.
He just showed up and let his balls hang and committed to it and just let his hands go. But even at his best, he didn't let his hands go a whole lot. But if he did, he could win this fight.
Is that a motivation for you to knock him out so that he says, I don't want to do this anymore, so you could be the one to say you got Jake Paul out of fighting?
Yes, so that's, I'm still thinking that I'm better than Jake Paul.
Floyd Mayweather has reacted to the Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight by calling Julio a legend. However, Floyd pointed out that Julio is much older now and past his prime. As for Jake Paul, Mayweather still doesn't view him as a serious boxer and continues to refer to him as just a YouTuber trying to fight. Floyd's words show respect for Julio but clear doubt about Jake's legitimacy. Oh,
well, I take my hat off to Chavez Sr. He's a legend in the sport of boxing. He's one of the guys that opened up the door for myself. But, of course, I'm still in tip-top condition, and he's a lot older now. Even when we was younger, that would have been a great matchup. But you just you never know. I heard that he posted us and talked about us doing a fight. But I'll be in a no-win situation if I did that.
The boxing world thrives on what-ifs and legendary matchups across generations. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. argue as confidence in saying he would have beaten Floyd Mayweather in his prime isn't just a bold statement, it echoes the pride of a fighter raised in a household of champions. Chavez Jr. believes that had the timing been right and age on his side, the outcome of a bout with Mayweather would have leaned in his favor. While he respects Floyd's undefeated legacy, Chavez Jr. sees himself as the more aggressive and naturally gifted fighter during his peak, feeling that such a matchup would have gone very differently than fans might expect today. Respected voices in the sport are backing Julio with strong conviction.
So I'm here with Julio Cesar Chavez, and I have to ask the question, who would win in their prime? Julio Cesar Chavez versus Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Punto final, en su punto prime. Creo que hubiera sido una pelea difícil, complicada. Yo creo que en 140 libras, 135 libras, definitivamente le hubiera ganado yo. Le hubiera ganado. ¿Por qué? Porque ese era mi peso. Yo nunca pude marcar 147 libras. Peleé por el campeonato, pero no era mi peso, ¿me entiendes? Creo que en 135, 140 le hubiera ganado a Mayweather. Acuérdate que yo peleé con su tío y su tío fue el que lo enseñó, así que pues yo creo que yo le hubiera ganado.
Robert Garcia IA, among others, points to Julio's experience, size, and boxing IQ as factors that give him a definitive edge over Jake Paul. Unlike the influencers or part-time athletes Jake has previously faced, Julio has been in real battles. He has dealt with blood, pain, and pressure in ways Jake hasn't. Experts believe that this fight won't need fancy tactics. Julio just needs to show up in shape, and his fundamentals will carry him through.
I love Chavez.
I love that dude. He's cool as fuck. I love that dude.
Okay, if he wins, what does it say?
Nothing. Chavez is gonna win.
What does that say if he beats Jake Paul?
Not much. Just a good win. A lot of millions of dollars, and then maybe do a rematch, which is badass. Make a lot of money.
Jake Paul has carefully built his boxing brand with calculated risk. From retired MMA fighters to debuting boxers, his choices were strategic. But now the script changes. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. isn't a stepping stone, he's a test fighter with professional experience in championship DNA. If Julio comes in focused and physically prepared, Jake might find himself out of his depth for the first time.
I like it. He was a little listless. He can get listless. But he's big. He's schooled in boxing.
It just does nothing for me.
Yeah. It is a challenge, though. It's a legit challenge, right? He got his ass
whooped. He got his ass whooped by Anderson Silva. Jake's already beat Anderson Silva, so it's like,
if he shows up for the fight, if he's really training, he's fairly tough. How old is he now?
39.
Oh wow.
He's 40.
Oh wow.
I don't think that one's gonna get big numbers. It's just like, all right, it's not a good next step. It's almost like he's going backwards.
But
now.
Wouldn't you say it's a good challenge for him?
No.
He's gonna beat him?
Yes. No, it's not a good challenge because he already got his ass whooped by Anderson. It doesn't do much. I guess it keeps Jake active, and it's a boxer.
Yeah.
But the boxing, you're still going to get validation from the boxing community, which is what he wants. It keeps him busy, I guess. So that's good.
Oscar de la Hoya has seen hundreds of fighters rise and fall, and his take on this fight comes with weight. He has praised Julio's current discipline and focus during training. According to de la Hoya, this isn't a retired boxer cashing in, this is a fighter preparing for war. He sees a narrative shaping where Jake finally gets challenged in a way he hasn't before. De la Hoya's excitement isn't just about business, it's personal.
The expectations,
A lot of
and
pressure,
then, the pressure, and he got involved with drugs and this and that, and he seems like he's doing better, and he's doing good. And I've seen him train lately. I've talked to the father, and he says, look, if my son shows up to the ring the way I've seen him in the last few months, I think he said like last 6-7 months, he goes, yeah, he's gonna knock out Jake Paul.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I'm sure a lot of people would love to watch that and see that. So, don't miss the fight.
Yeah.
June 28th. It's going to be crazy. No, it is. I mean, because Jake Paul actually has, it's not that he has something to prove, but he actually can prove something here. Chavez Jr. went the distance with Canelo, right? In Canelo's prime. And so imagine if Jake Paul knocks out Chavez Jr., then what?
Julio walks into the ring with the mindset of someone who knows his worth. He doesn't see Jake Paul as a real threat, just another name trying to grab attention off boxing's legacy. His confidence isn't bravado, it's built from years spent training at elite levels, sparring with champions, and carrying the name of a boxing icon with multiple world title fights on his resume. He enters this fight believing not in possibility but in inevitability while the hype builds.
This is your first fight in 2.5 years. When do you want to come back? Who do you want to fight?
Oh man, I don't care, Jake Paul?
You want Jake Paul next?
Yes, why not?
If he wins tonight?
Yes, I want.
You think you could beat him?
I'm a better fighter than these opponents, so that's for sure.
Jeff Mayweather brings caution to the table. He doesn't dismiss Julio's past achievements, but raises a fair point. Timing matters. Julio hasn't fought consistently in years, and age eventually catches up with everyone. From Jeff's view, this fight favors Jake more than it appears. It's a calculated risk by Jake's team, who know the value of beating a former champion, even one past his peak.
Canelo back down and all that kind of stuff, but is this, another name that just, like I said, gives the detractors more feel for their fighter? Does this help Jake at all?
I don't think it's really gonna help him that much. I mean, it will in the sense that he fought a legitimate fighter that actually was
a
professional fighter and a world champion. But to get him after a 5-year layoff and him being inactive is almost just like fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the same thing. It's like an older guy past his prime who hasn't fought in a long time. I guess he doesn't have an MMA career behind him, so maybe that's a good thing, but it's a lot of the same thing that people have always complained about.
But I think this is a fight that Jake can win.
Jake Paul isn't shy about his goals. He wants more than fame. He wants recognition as a real boxer. By targeting established names like Julio, even past their prime, he's building a narrative of progression. Every fight adds to a growing resume that he believes proves his seriousness. He sees himself not as a YouTuber dabbling in sports, but as a future title contender.
Got a former champion sitting over here to the left with a big name. Does this signal to the boxing world that you're looking to get back on that championship path, the pursuit of a world title?
Yeah, look, I always said it. I'm going to fight really tough people, and I'm going to fight big money fights. This is prize fighting. And so I'm giving the fans what they want with every single fight, taking on tougher opponents, and this is just that.
I can't help but notice it's a cruiserweight fight. The co-main event is a cruiserweight world title. If you look just to your right, there are 2 belts sitting there on the stage. Is it at all in your mind, if you beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., that a matchup with that man, Zurdo Ramirez, might not be far behind?
Yeah, 100%, man. This is what I came here to do, is become world champion and to create one of the greatest sports stories the world has ever seen. Going from Disney Channel to YouTube to world champion in 6 to 7 years, that's the most relatable and best sports story that any kid can get behind, and that's what I'm here to do, is inspire the next generation and do what no one's ever done before in the world's hardest sport, which is boxing.
You faced some hostile environments in the past, the Nate Diaz fight being one of them, but this might be the most hostile you've walked into. Southern California, 2 Mexicans on the card. What do you think about fighting in this type of atmosphere?
Man, the Mexicans love me, bro. Like, I'm stepping into my home environment. They love me more than they love this guy. You know, Mexico doesn't even claim him, so that's just the way it is. And I love my Mexican fans, and they've always been rocking with me since day one. And I'm going to show him who the real Mexican warrior